Welcome and thank you for joining us for another episode of the Jain Irrigation Training Series. And today we're veering a little away from just irrigation to talk about ag in general. And really today we're talking about your guide to the 2023 World Ag Expo. And you might be thinking, gee, why do I need a guide to an expo? And if you think that, it's telling me you probably have never been there before. This is the world's largest exposition for agriculture. You're going to see a lot of irrigation there, but there's so much more to see, including all the really cool farm equipment. You're going to see technology people are using in the dairy business, in farming, and just about everything in between. It's a real treat. I've been for many years in a row now and really love it. Always look forward to it. And I wanted to bring Jennifer Fawkes back to take us kind of through how do we make the most of our 3 days there? Because even though it's 3 days, it sounds like a lot of days, but we're talking about 110 acres of stuff to see that's all really valuable. So Jennifer is the marketing manager for the International Agri-Center. She went to school up at St. Mary's in the Bay Area, a very good school, got a master's degree after that. She's been very involved with agriculture in the Central Valley for many years now, and really helps to create a great expo every year. Jennifer, thanks for coming back, and appreciate you being here.
Well, thank you so much. And thank you for inviting us, or inviting me and the show in general, and a nice introduction. Thanks.
Yeah, so Jennifer, we're about 2 weeks out, a little less. I saw a picture yesterday. Our Jane tent's up already, so that's exciting. But so we're back this year, of course. Things are looking okay, but that's from my perspective. I saw a picture. How about your perspective? How's it looking out there so far?
It looks really good. And I would say exhibitors must be really excited because people were lined up at the gate. Monday was the first day of move-in, and people were lined up at the gate before 8 a.m. We're like, okay, hold on. And just ready to get in, get working, get set up. And it just, every time we go out there, it changes so much. We have the team putting the bark down. We're seeing the xylem and different of the decorators going out and putting all the plants out. There's sod going down. There's so much changing. I mean, more of our volunteers are here every day. They're doing their safety meetings and doing getting their new equipment ratings and for forklifts and everything. So everything's happening. Tractors, we'll see a tractor drive by going to a space. It's fun, and it's really interesting.
Yeah, it's pretty exciting. It's funny. We were talking about the booth setup this morning on our marketing call, and we were talking about using a forklift to put our filter in and some of our displays. And I go, where did we get the forklift? Like, World Ag supplies it.
Yep. And that is, we're a different show in that sense too, that so many are at a corporately owned convention center or center, and there's union and things, and we're a nonprofit. We own our own property. We've got volunteers. And so it's a first come, first serve. Let us know what you need and we'll get out there and, get that moved. And so it's nice. It's just very different.
Yeah, especially for those of us who have done other trade shows, that's not really how it works.
Right.
With other places.
Yeah.
Sometimes you feel a little held hostage by what it takes to get stuff in to exhibit. So you guys do a tremendous job on that.
You. Yeah. And it is funny because some people, like you said, are used to something very different. So we'll have especially first time exhibitors or people that are new to their organization planning for this show. I mean, they'll call in there and be like, is it like, where's your cost for drayage? I mean, a few years ago, we had a new person on our team and they're like, what's drayage? Because we don't charge anything. We don't charge to hold your packages. We actually hold them for you and then deliver them to your space. So
yeah.
Different.
Yeah, in a very good way.
Yeah.
So listen, I just want to remind everybody who's watching, I've got the chat and the Q&A open. So if you have some questions for Jennifer, type them in there and I'll be sure to pass them on to Jennifer as we go along. Jennifer, one statistic I always read about World Ag Expo is 100,000 people. This is what this happens right over 3 days. Is that right? 100,000?
Yeah. So 100,000 people on the grounds over 3 days. So last year, 22, our first show back from COVID, from the pandemic, we're watching all these other shows go before us
Yeah.
and seeing so many conventions and trade shows and different things, seeing 50% of their exhibitors and attendees from previous
Wow.
shows. And we're going, okay, we knew it was going to be rough. It's all right. It's okay. We'll be good. As we got closer to the show, I mean, day the show opened, space-wise, we're 96% sold.
Wow.
I mean, crazy. And we're an outdoor show. So that really lent itself to what a lot of, the precautions were and stuff. And we really messaged that if you're sick with anything, I mean, take care of yourself. Please don't share it with anyone. In the case of germs, sharing is not caring. So please keep it at home. Do what you need to do this year. And attendance, because we're going, okay, I mean, rightfully so, people need to do what's right for them and take care of themselves, be concerned. And we were just over 98,000 people on the grounds over the 3 days. So we were just, with timing, the time of year that we are, and just that dedication and the need, the desire to get back out and see people in person was really there. And so we expect, looking at ticket sales this year, we expect to be back over 100,000. Our international attendees, now that there's a lot fewer restrictions, it's about 75% above where it was last year. So
That's incredible. We were talking about that yesterday, and that's really great to see. This is truly a World Ag Expo, and it's great to see all the people coming in from all over. It's a great exposure for all the people that are exhibiting.
Oh, absolutely. And it's interesting too. One thing we noticed, like we do a top 10 new products contest every year, and all of them, when they entered, so they had a US address. And as we started digging in a little more in our top 10, going, wait, you guys aren't originally from the US, and that's fine. But why don't you list like 4 of the winners are from, or 3 of the winners are from Israel, one's from Finland.
Wow.
But it also says they have a California, address, because there's business to be done in California ag on the West Coast, and so it's just kind of an interesting thing. We're more international than we could state, just because these are global companies. They have offices everywhere.
Right. And then when you think about it, from an agricultural standpoint, where could you go for a week in the world and see as many potential customers, prospects, actually do business? This is what's happening all that week, and that's really exciting.
Yeah.
Now I love the expo. I love the grounds, but one thing that I'm always intrigued with is I like to see ag in action also.
Yes.
And you guys have some tours that are set up that people can sign up for, right? And this is something you do from time to time. And so what are the tours this year, and how do I sign up for them?
Sure. So we have 6 tours, and we always tell people seats are limited. In fact, one of our tours is already sold out. But we do, because dairy is still, Tulare County is the #1 dairy producing county in the nation. So of course we're going to have some heavy dairy focus. So we have 2 dairy tours. There's one on Tuesday, one on Thursday. These of course are going off site. So if you do go on a tour, keep in mind, you're probably not going to get to see the show that day. But 2 dairy tours. The one that sold out is going to see almonds, and it's also going to Monrovia Nursery, and they're a huge nursery. So you get to go out and see how that operation is working. Then there's a winery tour, which I'm like, if I could,
I was guessing that was the sold out one.
Yeah, that's it. Oddly enough, it's not, but you get to go to Kings River Winery, just north of us, and they always do they grill a lunch for you guys, and that's the other thing. Lunch is included with all of these. And then from Kings River, you go up to Fresno State, and Fresno State, I think they have the first college winery, like on-site college winery in the country. But of course, their school farm is on site there in Fresno too. So it's a really cool way to tour that. But then you're also seeing, there's a citrus research station tour, another one where you go out to a citrus farm. There's, what's the one? I think it's wonderful. Their another citrus packing tour. Just so many things to see. You can see all the equipment here, but to actually go out and see the equipment and see the operations, it's just amazing.
Right. So, okay. So I know I need at least 2 days, right? I need one day for the tour and at least one day for the expo, maybe 2. And then the other thing that's really cool at the expo, I just can't believe the amount of education I can get. The quality of speakers, the subject matter, it's all really great. where do I see, where can I find those education, the dates and times?
Sure.
And then how do I actually attend?
Yeah, so there's a couple ways. First of all, our app is available. If you search World Ag Expo on the App Store for Apple or Google Play, you're going to find our app and you can download it now. And we always recommend that you sign up for a free My Show Planner account, because you can actually save those exhibitors and those seminars and anything you want to see as you go, especially if you have the app, you're walking around with your schedule in the palm of your hand. That way you can remind yourself, but you can look by different tracks, different topics. Either in the app, we'll have the show guide on the grounds. Just keep in mind, like, things are changing. I've had a handful of people say, oh, we need to change our speaker. And then you can also, of course, go to worldagexpo.com. And if you check out the attendee section, you can either just go look at the attendee information, or it drops down and you can see all the seminars, all the different tracks, click on it and go straight to that track listing. And there's so much. And I mean, we have some great experts. I know that Anya Rodabaugh from Western United Dairies and Aubrey Betancourt from Almond Alliance, they're going to be talking the Land Flex program, the new one from California Water. We've got, Dana Cole from USDA, the Dairy Marketing Service. She's coming to talk about federal milk marketing orders. And then, of course, the keynote I got to put back on the website today, now that we have all the info, is, I'm going to get the full name of this wrong, but it's the U.S. House Committee for Agriculture. They're doing a Farm Bill listening session on Tuesday from 10 to noon in the banquet hall. So we've confirmed G.T. Thompson, who is the new chair of the committee, and David Valadeo. And of course, our invites are all out for all bipartisan members from this general area. So we'll have more folks that'll be here on that panel as well.
Boy, what an opportunity, right? To really get your voice heard. I mean, those are the right people to be talking to. And this is your opportunity to do that. That's great.
Absolutely. Yep.
Yeah. So, and I do want to mention the app, how great the app is, because if you've never been to World Ag, which I guess there's a few people who haven't, but if you haven't, it's kind of overwhelming when you get there. There's so much to see. And if you have a short attention span, I mean, you're going to be seeing stuff you didn't necessarily come to see, and you might miss some of the stuff you wanted to see. So the app really helps set that up for you. And then again, the educational center and what you can see from an education standpoint, you can see that and plug it in. And
yep. I like that. Yeah. Sitting in all the equipment, right? And speaking of that, though, this year we have more and more exhibitors that wanted more space. So you don't just have to sit in them. You can either test drive them or ride along with someone. Or in the case of some of the autonomous machinery, you can see it work right there in their space. So keep in mind, there's a lot more movement than there used to be, because so many things have changed. We know generally what a tractor does. Some of this new stuff, like, how does that even work? Like, and so it's really good for people to be able to get in, try it, check it out, really kick the tires and really understand what it can and cannot do for your operation.
Right. And again, where can somebody go in the nation right now to see an autonomous tractor,
right,
which is going to be game changing, I think, in agriculture. So
yeah, and it's interesting. We've had like Gus, they're top 10 winner again this year, but they've had autonomous spraying equipment, and that has been really interesting. But now, like Monarch Tractor, they'll be demonstrating their autonomous electric tractor. There's just a lot of things to see and try out, and just start seeing where we're going next. It really is the future of ag around every corner. It's amazing what we see.
It's funny what you just said. I had some people on a few months ago about autonomous lawnmowers. This is happening in landscape now.
Yes.
And I always think, of course, they're electric, but they're not. Some are, some aren't.
Yeah. Well, and it's interesting. So we'll go over, obviously, if you're going to have something be self-driving, so you don't have someone there to like hit a switch or cut it off. Our question is always, that's great, but how can you turn it off if there's a glitch? And so those are all of the questions that, for our board, our farmer volunteers, they've got questions because they're also the shoppers. So just know too, as we're planning the show, our teams of volunteers, our farm experts, they're looking at it going, well, if I use this, what would I want to know? How would I want it presented? What do I have to consider? So it's always a really interesting process when we do this.
Yeah. So you mentioned two product contest winners, new products. You can see, have they been announced? Have we announced yet to who the winners
Yes.
are? Yes.
Yes. So you can
And
actually, if you go to worldagexpo.com and under that attendee section are the top 10 winners. And it's a pretty broad range. There a lot of high tech stuff. And then even some stuff that's just like even better, irrigation equipment or, just all these different things that software in the palm of your hand to run part of your systems. There's a, what is it? BeeWise has a system that basically it's an automated beekeeper system for your bees in a box. And so just all kinds of things thinking about, we look at labor shortages, we look at gaps in, some of the very specific technical needs. How can we help people do more and better business? That's what these companies are looking to do. And it's
right.
really interesting.
And I can go in 2 weeks. I can see it live. I can talk to the people who are using it and
Yeah.
developing it live. It's great.
Yeah.
So education, tours, you can see all the things I like.
Yep.
I think I can also win a Toyota Tundra.
Yes, you can.
How do I do that?
You can, I can't. So please buy all the tickets and win since I can't win. But yeah, so we are very proud of the partnership that we have with Toyota, of course. And so our local dealers are just amazing. And so you'll be able to ride or drive a Toyota. So if you want to go over some big bumps, try out some different vehicles, they're here on site. But then we also work with Valley Children's Healthcare here in the Central Valley. And so all of that money, all the tickets are sold either by the dealership or members of the guilds. And so all of that money is going to benefit Valley Children's. And so it's just a really good partnership to get people excited and try out those Toyota Tundra trucks. And then also to help the kids. I mean, just help the kids be healthy. But yeah, it's been great.
Yeah, pretty great cause and a pretty nice way to blend it into what's going on, right? Because it's community involvement, community support, and really what's agriculture all about, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah. So, and then speaking of community and helping the community, there's also a We Believe in Growing scholarship
Yes.
that you guys offer.
Yep. And actually, that one's another great community partnership because EM Tharp, headquartered in Porterville, they are the title sponsor for that. They are the ones, making sure that we are helping local students. It's like there's 5 counties that are eligible for students and to really help them go to school. And we pick 2 kids every year. And it's fun because they'll come into our building and they're waiting to go before the panel. And it's just, they're so impressive. They're so nice. And the panel this year too said, oh my gosh, this was hard. These kids are amazing. But yeah, EM Tharp, just a great partner on that and does so much to make sure that kids are getting an ag and they're getting an education.
Yeah. So so the scholarships are gone for this year.
They're gone for this year. We have 2 great winners that we'll be announcing. They'll be recognized at opening ceremonies and we'll send out the press release announcing that day.
Yeah. And so really I would be signing up for next year's scholarship.
Yes.
But when can I do that? How do I do that?
So that will start, I think we usually have that up mid-November. And
Okay.
so keep an eye out for that. So basically right now, if you're a high school senior and you're going to graduate in 2024, and you live in Kings, Kern, Tulare, Fresno, or Madera counties, you are eligible. And really the other piece to that is that you are planning to go into major in an ag field at a 4-year college or university. And so again, really encouraging, I mean, it's ag business, it might be ag education. It's really encouraging kids to stay in this great industry and help drive it forward.
Yeah, that's excellent. That's really exciting. So, so if I'm attending for the first time,
Yes.
and I'm going to ask you this for the returning person also, but first time, how would you go about organizing your days, whatever it is? How would you do this?
So I would say know what you're looking for. Like, what do you have to get done to really take back and make your trip worth it? Because that's part of this, right? We're a business trade show. We are here to help folks get what they need to do their work. So I would look at, if you're here for irrigation, I mean, you're going to first thing, look up where Jain is. Like, let's make sure you're going there. But also you'll start seeing that we have people kind of generally grouped in areas. So in the case of you guys are over near Pavilion B. Pavilion B is typically our irrigation and water pavilion for those indoor guys. And then outdoors around them, there's lots of irrigation companies, pump companies, lots of things to do with water. So that one, we're always like, take a look at where that is and plan to get there quickly. Whether sometimes you don't choose where you park just because traffic is crazy, but you can always hop on a tram and get over to that area. So really do a little bit of homework as you're either driving in or the week before. If you're here for dairy, you want to get to Farm Credit Dairy Center.
Yeah.
And then from there, once you kind of know where you want to start, think about lunch. Those lines get really long. Our nonprofits, all of our food booths are nonprofits. They do an amazing job, and there's
Wow.
some fun, good food. And then, yeah, see what else, what haven't you seen? What new technology do you want to do? And sometimes walk for a little bit, because we are a walking show. We do offer shuttles, as far as like, if you go to an info booth and say, I need a ride here, or wait at one of our tram stops, you can hop on a tram. But there are so many things to discover around every corner. I don't even know everything that happens at my show. I have to watch YouTube and like the news afterwards to see what I missed. But it really is, do that research, find out who you need to talk to, and then maybe leave yourself some time to explore, because there's cool stuff everywhere.
Yeah. So you mentioned something interesting too. YouTube, social media lights up with stuff.
Oh man.
Is there a hashtag we should be using this year with?
Yes. Yeah. So the two hashtags we use the most, hashtag World Ag Expo. But the other, when we're trying to get year specific, our abbreviation for the show is WAE, World Ag Expo. So we use hashtag WAE23 for this year.
Okay. All right. Well, we'll be wearing that out. I assure
Okay,
you
good.
that.
Excellent.
So, okay, so that's for the first time person going to check out ahead of time, right? Plan that day or days, because it's important. And what about the person who's been a couple times, kind of thinks they know what they're doing, but maybe might be missing a few things?
Well, I'll tell you what, there are some hidden gems for sure that if you don't know about them, or, a couple things, it's kind of like Disneyland. You got to find the best place to sit down with the best snack. Like sometimes you need a break, right? So there's a couple things. First of all, if you haven't been to the WW Livestock Demonstration Pavilion, we have live animals on the grounds. We have cowboys riding horses. We have, we have a new group doing cattle ultrasounds, like pregnancy ultrasound demonstrations, right? If you have a kid in 4-H or FFA and they are showing animals, California Youth Ag Expo is here, and they will be showing kids how to get ready, how to get show ready and improve their showmanship skills. If you haven't been to Wine and Cheese and you would like to sit down, relax a little bit, have a glass of wine, make sure you find that over near Farm Credit Dairy Center. If you want to try some food, watch some chefs cook, have a little entertainment, sit down where they also have a bar. You want to get to the entertainment tent by World Ag Women. And let me tell you, they've got food, they've got drinks, they've got heaters. Like if it's a cool day, that's a great place to be. And on the other side of their pavilion is career and education. So if you need to kick a kid out of the house so they can go to college, go there too. So those are some big ones. But I would say we also added a list of who are the people doing like test drives or demonstrations. And we're still hearing from our exhibitors. We don't know what all 1,200 exhibitors are doing. So we also want exhibitors to tell us like, okay, if you're doing that, we want to put you on this list so people know what they can go experience. So there's a little bit of everything. And then if you want to, of course, see the past, see the history of ag, we have a museum. So go check out that really cool equipment. It's on the first floor of the Heritage Complex up at the west end of the showgrounds.
Yeah. So again, so much to see, so much. Planning is going to be key.
Yep.
The other thing I want to mention too, and you've mentioned this, but I want to just confirm the food's incredible. It's interesting, all nonprofits, but the food, and I mean the amount of food that they bring is really incredible. So then you think, oh, maybe with that amount of food, the quality won't be so good, but the food's really good.
Well, and it's if you want a steak sandwich, if you want to beef anything, like this is the place to be, because tri-tip is everywhere.
Yeah.
And you can't get it everywhere. But you've got tri-tip, you've got Sundell does the steak sandwiches. I'm forgetting the ribeye steak sandwiches. There also apparently is a New York strip steak sandwich on the grounds. So you got to find that one. fried bologna sandwiches. I mean, the peach cobbler by the Cowboys in the Dutch oven over the open coals. Also, I missed it last year, so that's my Tuesday goal, so I can't miss it. But breakfast burritos and biscuits and gravy and like loaded baked potatoes. If you find a salad, like good job, but we really are going for all the, big crazy stuff. But it's fun. You'll walk a lot, so you can definitely do the eating too.
Yeah, you're working it off, right? And I noticed last year at the Jain tent, somebody said, "Oh, the peach cobbler was great." And then pretty soon, whole peach cobblers were coming to the tent to share with everybody because they were really good.
Good. Yeah.
Yeah. So Jennifer, this is the International Agri-Center, right?
Yep.
So World Ag isn't the only thing you do there.
No. Yeah. Because some people will ask us, wait, that's a full-time job. Don't you start just like a month before the show? We're like, yeah, that's how that works. No, we actually are an event center. And so this last year, I think it was somewhere between 15 and 18 livestock and equestrian events. Wow. So I mentioned California Youth Ag Expo a little bit ago. They just did their third year this last year, twice with us. And they had students showing from every county in California. So there were something like 900, 1,000 animals here. So if you've been here, Corteva and Farm Credit Dairy Center, both of those buildings had show rings in them. They were housing animals. Plus we had cattle and, trimming stations, all this other stuff, throughout the grounds at the back end there, full of trailers everywhere, kids, parents, everything for like 4 or 5 days. It was amazing. At one point with the winners, they drive a Hummer into Corteva. They're not kidding around. Yeah. But yeah, the barrel racing and California Rein Cow Horse Association. We did a swine show and some dairy shows. So we live ag all year long. I think Kapka is downstairs right now doing some training, having a meeting. So we have business meetings during the week. We're open for that. We've done train shows and gymnastics, volleyball tournaments. We had monster trucks in November. So it's a little bit of everything. We specialize in a big area. So if you have something you need to do, our events team, Megan and April, they are amazing and can make a lot of things happen. And our grounds team put up a whole grandstand arena in about 2-3 weeks right after the cotton was harvested on one of the back fields and turned it into a place to do monster trucks. So yeah.
That brings up two things. One, I should be checking the website all year round because there's other stuff to do besides World Ag. I should check into that. And then two, you guys have more acres there than you actually use. Yeah. What do you do with the extra acreage?
So the other 425 acres is in farming. So lots of almonds. So if you're here, I think the bees are on site pollinating. So be careful when you're driving in. Please don't hit our workers if you can avoid them. But yeah, we've got almonds. We had one of the fields in cotton this year and some Pima. And then I think he did also corn this year for some silage. It bounces between hay and like corn or, something like that.
Yeah. Well, that's really fabulous. You guys are actually doing what you exhibit and put together, and it's really a community. It's really an education. It's really about making things better. And how can you not get behind that? I mean, this is great.
Yeah, we're also such a crazy event center that John Deere was like, "Hey, we need to do an event. Can we do it the week before the show?" We're like, "Okay." So they're actually going to be doing some training on site. And then they'll be out in the almonds with one of the Gus machines, or maybe a couple, doing some demos out in our almonds with Gus for some folks. Very cool. So, we don't have enough to do. We weren't very busy. So we thought
half days, 12 hours, right? Half day.
Exactly. So.
All right. Well, Jennifer, thank you so much for coming on today and sharing this really valuable information. I know For those who have been, this makes our experience better. And for those who haven't been, hopefully it'll make your first trip in a lot more enjoyable. There's a lot to see there, and you really helped narrow it down for us. So thank you. I want to thank everybody for checking in today. Really appreciate that. As you know, all our trainings are at the Jain's website, jainsusa.com/training. You can see our well over 200 trainings that we put on over the last few years, as well as you can listen to them as podcasts now. So anywhere you listen to your favorite podcast, you can find us there again. Jennifer, again, thanks so much. Really appreciate you coming on today.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, really looking forward to the show. And Jane's, as always, excited to be out there. So thank you.
All right, thanks.
Okay. Bye, everybody. We'll see you again next week. We're going to be talking about backflow preventers for landscape irrigation. So important subject that we hardly find any information about. So we'll see you next week.
Yeah.